Thank you, Naveen. First of all, I want to say, show my gratitude to Sunanda ma'am for giving this beautiful opportunity. And thank you, Naveen, for this beautiful intro. And apologies to all of you, my friends, because I could not switch on my video because here is the power off and I'm not having the UPS up to now. It's in small bit error. Okay. But this won't stop our webinar. Today, I selected the topic decoding mindset. See, actually, our mind is a very fascinated one. It is encoded with uh, so many emotions and behaviors and traits and so many things. We could not understand the person, whoever, our friends and relatives, or going into which emotion they are going. Sometimes, in some situations, we could not understand in what a type of emotion we are undergoing. So, decoding this is much needed now to know about ourselves and know about the persons whom we are moving with, and also for the development of our career and all the settings. We need to know our personalities and all. So, I mean, the decoding the minds is the psychological assessment. The psychological assessment includes the psychological test and interviews, and we can say that a case histories. All hold the total of this and the evaluation of this one. Uh,
Vishal, please give access to that PPT.
sorry. Just a minute.
Bablu, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Haru is also there.
Yep, hi Araka, I can see you.
Hi, Pablo.
Sorry, friends, for this
Good to
one.
see you.
Really sorry for this one. Ma'am, see, I had sent one another link. Please check this. This one will work.
You go ahead. Go ahead, Vishal.
Okay. What we are talking actually, yeah, decoding our minds is now. It's very necessary for us to move a smoothly manner. Okay, psychological assessment is very much needed. The psychological testing and the case history and the interviews all together, if we evaluate, that is called as the psychological assessment. Here, I am not taking all the components. I am taking only the psychological testing only. Um, uh, I want to dive in this topic and I want to give a little glimpse about this one. What is the psychological testing? 1 second slide. Okay, the psychological test is a device or technique or a strategy which is used to um, measure the qualities of our angry or our happiness or all the things and emotions to quantify that one. See, our emotions and angry or the qualitative one, we could not measure that one as the grains and all. So, to measure our happiness or the sadness or anything, we need to quantify that one. That process is called the psychological test. It is also called as the psychometric test. uh, Psycho meant behavior or mind. The metric means number. So we are changing our emotions to the numbers so that we can understand how much we are affected or how much we need to take care of that emotion or behavior and all. Ma'am, next slide, please. And the characteristics of the psychological test. It must be objectivity. That means it must give the perfect answer for all the people, whoever is taking the same answer need to be give, and it must be standardization. The same situation must give to all the participants or the candidates whoever taking the psychological test. And the reliability is also needed one. Reliability means here consistency. The test must measure, if it is measuring the happiness, that another happiness scale if given to that candidate, the same measurement need to be. And if we are giving the same test to another time to the participant, the same answer must need to come. Little bit error is accepted, but if it is first we are giving a happiness index, for an example I'm saying, it is giving that the person is very happy person. Then another one happiness index scale we are giving to that person, if that shows that the person is in depression, then there isn't some error. So the psychological test must need a reliability and the validity. It must measure what it need to be measured. See, the happiness index scale must measure happiness. It could not measure the angry. So the validity is must needed. And the norms, we need to fix the norms for the psychological test, because it gives the clear picture of the emotions and everything whatever we want to we want to measure that. And practicability, it must be easier for the one. And we need to see, if you are giving some 2000 questions and we are giving the time, if you want to finish that one in the 30 minutes, that is not the practicable. So the practicability is must needed. And the language also must be taken care of here, the words and all also taken care of here. I mean, the next one, the types of the psychological test. It is actually divided into two big segments. It is the based on test construction and administration, and the knowledge and the skills. Ma'am, next. The, based on test and construction and administration, it is divided into these segments: individual versus group test. Individual group test, where we need to give the individual test and where we need to the group test. That is a very important question we need to know. Individual test is must given wherever we need to observe the facial gestures or expressions or the body language of the candidate. We need to give the individual test there. See, in the rose tracking block test, it is a test. For example, I'm saying the rose tracking block test, we need to interact with the participant or the candidate separately. So we need to take this as an individual test. Here, the group test, we can do the achievement test or the academic test. We can do it as a group test. Here, no facial expressions is needed for us. We just need the answers from them. So the group test is allowed here. The power versus speed test. There is a subtle difference with the power and speed test. Actually, if we are saying the speed test, we are giving a limited time or the fixed time to them, and we are asking them to finish the test in that time. That is the speed test. Here, the speed is calculated and they need to finish all the questions in that time. That is the speed test. For an example, if we can say the MCQs test we are giving in the entrance examinations, right? That is the example for the speed test. The power test is the one which gives the in-depth knowledge of the candidate in that test. Because in the power test, the difficulty is increasing for each and every question. So it shows their expertise in that topic, whatever they are taking. The paper pencil versus performance test. Paper pencil test is the name itself suggests that it is a paper printed test. Not only the pencil, we can use the pen also here. And see, it is a written test. Here, the verbal words is very important. So language plays a role in this one. So it can be given to the literate people only. The performance test is the test which we can give for the illiterate people only. Here we can give the some blocks designs, the puzzles, and all coming under these segments. Here we can understand the intelligence or their critical thinking through the performance test. Objective versus projective. Objective test. It will be a one word test, maybe the true or false, or the we can say in our exams, in our academic exams, we will say the fill in the blanks, true or false, choose the correct answer. It all comes under this objective test. There is no need of a sentence answer for this one. Just a word answer is enough for this one. And the answer will be prescribed. How to say? Will be we will have a template of the answers. This is the answer. We have a scorecard for that one. But in the projective test, there is a no right or wrong answers. Each and every one feel something. See, in the Roseback ink blot test, some ambiguous includes picture is given to the candidates. We will see this test afterwards in another slide, but here for this clarification, I'm saying little better. Actually, the projective test, it's a very good example for this one is the Roseback ink blot test. The Roseback ink blot test will have 10 codes. In that one, a ambiguous unique ink pattern will be there. If a person is seeing, he can imagine anything. He will imagine according to his situation or according to his personality, according to the problem he is undergoing. It will be like that. So there is no right or wrong answers in this one. And for the projective test, there is more projective test in this. We will see this afterwards. In the projective test, the interpretation is very much important. It must be taken by only a trained psychometric psychologist only. It can be taken. The objective test, it also taken by the psychologist only, but it is little bit easier than this projective test. And the computer assisted test, in all the fields, the now updation is happened. As this here also updation is happened. Here the computer assisted test, nowadays it is very famous. All the aptitude test now the childrens were undergoing is the computer assisted test, the JEE, and the net exam, all are coming under this section. Ma'am, the next slide. The based on knowledge and skills and attitude. Here the achievement test. Achievement test is we are giving some training or the knowledge sharing to the participants. After that, we will give a test to understand whether they understood the topic, what we shared or what we trained, like that. So the achievement test we can say as our academic test. The academic we are teaching to the kids and all. After that, when we are giving a test, and we will understand that whether the children understand the teachings or not, and we will change our way of teaching after that one. How the children are they're capable and all, we will learn from that test. So achievement test is like that. The aptitude test is the one which will predict their future success. See, achievement test is the one which is what they measure, what they know. The aptitude, what they will learn. They in future, what they can learn, how they can move, like that. So the aptitude tests are used in the educational setting for the admission purposes, and also for in the career process, because that is very important for the institutions. So they are using that one there. Intelligence test, it is measuring our IQ. It is also used in the educational setting, and also nowadays in the career places also. The emotional test also used in the career guidance and career places, vocational places and all. The interest test, it is very much used in the in the career places, because if the person is interested in this one, his work will be very good and fine. So they are taking this giving this test and selecting the candidates according to the that one. If the candidate is interested in their field which they are taking, then their work ability will be very good. And the neuropsychological test, it is a clinical test after in brain surgery or in any accidents, to see their neurological function. This test is used. It is also used in the older peoples, to measure the dementia or the Alzheimer's, like the memory problems, like that and all were measured with the neuropsychological test. It's purely used in the clinical setting. Occupational test, it is actually, see, the interest test shows what we are interested. The occupational test show what we are able to do. The interest and the ability will differ sometimes. So they both will be used in the career assessments. The occupational test and the interest test both are used. The personality test. See, personality is speaks now in all the places, right? In the if you are taking a person for an HR or manager, he must need interpersonal relationship skills. He must need to maintain that one with all the people. So here is personality will help that to do one. So personality test is taken for the taken in the career um, to give the higher positions. And also sometimes it in some couples therapy also we will take the personality test, because we need to know clearly about their personality to give the treatments or the therapy. Sometimes if your husband is a narcissistic personality, we can guide the wife how to tackle him, uh, or to understand him. It the vice versa also. If a woman is also in a narcissistic, then we can suggest the husband how to tackle him. And also the personality is a personality test is very important to know the to move in the society and all. Sometimes we need the awareness that what type of personality we are, because that will give us a self awareness, so that we can develop ourselves. If we are lacking in something, we can develop. Some behaviors are changeable, some behaviors are not changeable. If it is a changeable behavior, it will make us to upcome, then we can change, right? So the personality test is very important in the society now. Nowadays it becomes very famous. Specific clinical test, it's purely used in the clinical settings. Ma'am, next slide. I have given a simple examples for the each and every test. It's an intelligence test. I have given you a very important test. It's a Stanford Binet test and the West intelligence test. If you're saying only two intelligence tests, is that? No, there are so many intelligence tests, but it is very famous. So here I took this one. Stanford Binet test is a test. Um, it is measuring 6 areas: general intelligence, knowledge, fluid reasoning, quantitative reasoning, visual and spatial reasoning, and working memory. And the Wechsler's intelligence test, it measures verbal, digital, and performance. See, the intelligence test in that one, language plays a very important role. So we can't say it is a culture biased. So sometimes, if we are giving the verbal test, the illiterate people could not attend that. Uh, because of not attending that one, we could not say they are not intelligent. Here, these both tests are culture biased only. So with performance test, we can measure the intelligence of the illiterate people. The next slide, ma'am. The personality test. The personality test, as I discussed with you earlier, it is we can divide this into two. One is projective and the non-projective. Projective means simply there is no right or wrong answers, and they need to how to say, they are letting them out. Whatever they are thinking, they are letting that out. The Rorschach ink test. Already I said about this. This will be have a 10 chords. In that one, some unique pattern of ink images of the ink will be. See, for this, I can say an example. In our day-to-day life, if you're seeing the clouds in the sky, each and everyone will imagine differently. I can imagine that cloud image as a rabbit. The other one can say it as a anything, a crow or anything. See, it is not in that cloud. It is in my mind. Whatever I'm thinking, I will imagine like that one. So the Rorschach include test is like that. The thematic up perception test. In this, 20 chords will be that, black and white chords will be. In that situational, a situation will be explained with the pictures. So the patient uh, or the person need to explain uh, the situation. How whatever he can say, there is no right or wrong answer according to his mindset. If he is angry, he can say a two persons are talking in the picture. If he is angry, he will say fighting they are fighting like that. If he is in a happy mood, they are discussing like that, he can say. So whatever his mood is like that, he will imagine and express about the pictures. And the sentence completion tense, it is a open and questions will be that, not the questions, a sentence, a start of the sentence will be that I wish, like that it will be. After that you need to finish. So it is also let you to say your own words. It's so you can say any line, any number of lines here. And the next one is a draw a picture completion. This is also imaginary one. There is no right or wrong answer. What is sometimes this draw a picture or picture completion is used for the mental retarded kids to check their intelligence, and sometimes it is used in the illiterate people to check their presence of mind or the intelligence. So draw a picture, they can draw, and the picture completion is the half picture will be, and they need to complete. This is the one. And for these projective tests, to interpret this one, a well-trained psychometric assistant is needed. Nobody can't do without the training. We can't see, there is no right or wrong answers. So each and every person's expression will be different. So here the well-trained psychometrician is needed to interpret. Ma'am, next. Non-projective test. It is a mini chota multiphasic personality inventory and the million clinical multi-axel inventory. The both were the clinical one. So here we will understand whatever the disorders they are undergoing. To diagnose that one, we will use this one. After diagnosis, we can give the treatment according to that one. So the both were used in the clinical settings. On the California Psychological Inventory and the 16 Personality Factor Questionnaire, the Einstein Personality Questionnaire Inventory. The three are measuring a person's psychotism or neurotism, extroversion, introversion, like that. The personality is measuring like that. So these three, this California Psychological Inventory and 16 Personality Factor Questionnaire and the Einstein Personality Inventory used in the career places, because as I already said, in career places personality matters a lot. I'm next one. Steps, ma'am, next slide. Steps in the development of the why we need to develop a psychological test. Already we have so many psychological tests, but our mind is more dynamic. We could not reliable on only one test. So according to the situation, according to our need, we need to construct some more test for that one. For the research purpose, we will build some psychological test. So for the steps for that one, first, uh, uh, as per the same law for all the things, planning is the first one. If you want to do anything, planning is the first one. Here, what we need to plan. We need to plan about what type of test we need to construct. In that, what we need to measure, what type of audience we are concentrating, and how much at time we need to give, like that all the sections, all the objectives we need to plan here. And then item generation and tentative selection. See, items here mean questions. Now the tentative is the temporary, so temporarily we need to generate some questions. See, if you're taking an intelligence, we need to construct an intelligence test. For intelligence, we need to cover some 10 components or 5 components. So our questions must cover all the 5 components of the intelligence. So we need to plan like that, and we need to write the questions, and we need to check 1 second and 1 second, so that after that we can make it as a questionnaire. The scrutiny by experts, it's always needed. Uh, Even though we planned and we generated correctly, sometimes the expert's opinion is much needed, because we will think this this will be understand like this, but the audience will audience are the persons who are taking the test will understand differently. This will be easily pointed out by the experts. So experts opinions means a lot here. Also we need to go with them. Then development of standardized procedures. Standardized procedure means we need to form a uh, 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 some set of rules. See, in that rules, we must just a minute, ma'am. Here, power key. Sorry, it's okay. We will move like this itself, ma'am. Okay. Before slide itself, ma'am. Steps in development itself. We did not finish it. Okay. Okay. Standardized procedures. Means we need to make that some standardized rules. That meant psychometric test. We need to make them relax, make the participants relax, and we need to give a proper seating arrangements, and we need to give we need to explain the jargons if anything we used that in the questionnaire, and we need to explain why this questionnaire, what is the questionnaire, what we are going to measure. Like that we need to explain, so that they will be aware and they will write it down. These standardized procedures is needed, because if we are explaining a person and giving them, the answer will be different. If you are not explaining and giving the questionnaire, the answer will not be the same. So we are not doing justice to all the participants. So the standardized procedure must be developed. Whoever taking that psychometric test, they need to follow that standardized procedure. And the preliminary or pilot testing. Before we are giving this to a patient or a person, we need to test this whether our questionnaire is right or wrong. This is called as the preliminary or pilot testing. If you're actually pilot testing, we need to take some 1,000 people or 100 people according to our research and all that. We need to take and we need to give the questionnaire, and we must get the answers from them, and also get the feedback from them, whether they can understand, whether the questionnaire is easy, the given time is correct. Like that, we need to get the feedback from them. After that, we must evaluate them, and if the questionnaire is satisfied, it is satisfiedly um, uh, satisfactorily covering all our objectives, then we can move to the next step, or else we need to go for the first step once again. From there, we need to move. And then establishment of reliability and validity. See, already I said in the characteristics, validity is the one. The psychometric test must measure what it need to measure. So that is the validity, and the reliability is the consistency or stability. So the test must stable. If the a test is given to a person and the answer is coming after some time, after some days, we are giving the same test, the same result must come. A little error is okay, but if it is not correct, then the questionnaire is not in the stable one. So we need to check it down. Then the preparation of manual. If you're buying a TV or a fridge or washing machine, anything, we are getting a manual, right? We are now giving a psychological assessment or test. So surely there must be a manual. In that manual, we need to explain why this is prepared by whom, under whose guidance, why, what it is going to measure, is it checked reliability or validity, like all the details must need to give in this manual. This translation procedure is not to all the psychometric test. Um, it is for the one which we need to translate. We will keep it aside. We will finish it, and I will come to that point. And after that, preparation of the manual, we will check with the experts, and after that, we will make the final steps. Here, translation procedure, I said, right? Actually, sometimes we will have a very good psychometric test in some other languages, but we are not have that in our. At that times, we will translate one. But for translating, we have some rules. It must be taken by some experts. The forward and backward translation is must do. Forward translation means if for an example, if I'm translating a psychometric test which is in English language to Tamil, I need to a translator must translate it from English to Tamil, and the next translator need to translate it Tamil to English once again, so that if any glitches or any inappropriate translation is there, they will correct it. So the forward and backward translation is must needed here. Then only it will be correct. Ma'am, next slide, ma'am. The uses of psychological testing. It's a very simple one. As I already said, it is first very much used to move easily in this society, to learn about ourselves and to learn about others. For interpersonal relationship in all places, the psychological testing will help us to understand that. In healthcare settings, it plays a bigger role, because to uh, understand a specific behavior of a person, psychological behavior, we are using this test. By understanding the behavior, we can give some therapies. If the behavior is strong, we can give some therapies, like cognitive behavioral therapy and all we can give. And for diagnosis, the dementia and Alzheimer and all, also we are using it one. The in psychological setting, sorry, educational setting, we can say the aptitude test are using, and we are sometimes in some colleges they are using the interest test also. Um, so in some places they are using the intelligence test. See, intelligence test why they are using in the educational setting. If we can understand that kid has some problems, then we can personalize the lessons and all according to his IQ or according to his problems. So here in educational settings, so many psychometric tests are used. An organization, workplace, and occupational setting. Here we are using the interest test and the occupational test and all the personality test also here used. In legal setting, also it plays an important role because um, the victims sometimes their words must be um, different and their emotions will be different, and also the same in the um, uh, abusers also. Their words will be different and their emotions will be different. We could not know who is the victim and who is the abuser sometimes. So here the psychometric test plays an important role to judge, or it makes us easy to judge. We could not fully rely on the psychometric test, even though it is a scientific one. We could not fully reliable on that, but we can. It will help us to judge or move in a right direction. So in legal setting, it plays an important role. In sometimes, if the persons are undergoing any disorders like that, we can test them with the psychometric test, and we will suggest them to the rehabilitation centers and also psychiatrist places like that. Next slide, ma'am. The limitations. Even though our psychological test is a scientific one, it's a reliable one, it's validated, we checked it with the pilot testing on all, we could not rely 100% on that one because uh, our human mind is a dynamic one. It will change and change and change. See, we could not say as how our grandfather are there, how their personality is there. We could not say we are now also like that, right? So the our personality also changes. The definition for our personality changes. The interpersonal relationship changes. Our society is changing. Each and every places changes is happening. So we could not rely on only one psychometric test. So we need to prepare new one, and we need to adopt that, and we need to change that one and all. So the limitations is there for this also. Uncertainty of measurement, exactly, because the happiness, the angry, or the sadness, or everything is the qualitative one. We could not measure that one. So sometimes the test makers attitude will reflect here. So the perfect measurements we could not make it down. And the culture bias, lack of generality. The culture bias, as we discussed earlier, always the culture bias will be. Sometimes some you see in some communities, for an example, just I'm saying, I'm not don't want to hurt anyone. In some communities, wearing a chapel and praying the God is very casual thing. But in some communities, the wearing the chapel before that place itself is not accepted one. So how we can say it is a right or wrong? Like this, sometimes the questions, some cultural biases will be happens. So some errors will come. The subjective interpretation. See, in projective tests, as I already said, there is no right or wrong answers. The psychometric as psychologist will interpret this one. So sometimes the interpretation will differ. Sometimes his attitude or his behavior or his and social desirability factors. This is the one commonly we are facing in all the psychometric tests. That means The participants know the answer, perfect knows answer. They can judge their own emotion perfectly, but they will hesitate to say that one. If you are asking a person, you will lie in this situation, they will feel if I'm saying lie in this situation, then the society, what will the society will say? So to showing them good or projecting them as a good person, they will say yes. So they wrongly answering here. So the socially disability, socially they are showing themselves as good. Here they are giving the wrong answers. So we will get wrong responses. Rejection of qualified applicants. Sometimes because of these errors, we must reject the proper applicants also. We will reject the attitude towards testing. Yeah, of course, the participants attitudes also matters. Sometimes the testers or the psychologist attitude also matters. See, we all will be very free in our home setting, but if you're need to talk before in mic or in a video, at once our attitude will change. We will feel shy, we will hesitate, we will get some fear like that. While taking the test, some participants will feel little bit in the inconvenience, so that their answers will be give some errors. Ma'am, next slide. Interpretation. This is very, very much important in this psychometric test or psychological test. All the thing is, um, um, all the thing is, how to say, is depends upon the interpretation only. See, there is no right or wrong answers in so many tests. Some tests only having the right test, have a prescribed answers, so we can easily give an interpreter. So many tests, projective tests, do not have any uh, um, templates as right or wrong or scorecards or anything. So here, experts only need to interpret. The trained professionals and experts only need to interpret this psychometric test. This is must needed. And the norms referenced. See, if we are taking the intelligence test, we will fix some norms. What we can say norms as, if an individual is taking some score, we will compare that one with the general score. That is the norm, general score. So that with comparing the individual score with the general score, we will say he is in that position, like the percentile. We will use no, we the 60th percentile in JEE and NEET. They will say I'm in 16th percentile, I'm in the 17th percentile, like that we will say. So 16 people are behind this game, like that. So the norms means the individual score is compared to the group score. Already we fixed a group score. The criterion reference means it need to the individual's score need to fulfill the criteria which we have fixed, and the inferences from various tests. While interpreting, we will take the inferences from various tests. For the projective test, if already some case histories of that, we can refer them and we can take that. Here, while seeing this person imagined like this, they interpreted this one like this. So we can take the same here. Like that, we can take the references from the past test results and all, as we are doing in the law section, right? In the law, in the court, we will always do the inferences. In some literature also, literature writing also, we will take the inferences from before researchers and all, like that. Inferences will take for the interpretation. So interpretation is a very important, plays an important role in the psychometric test. In that one, we need to be trained. If not, we could not do an interpretation. Ma'am, next slide. Yeah, I think so. I came to the final. It's thank you. I think I did justice for this topic. I didn't move so deep in the testings, each and every testing. I just given the glimpse of that because it is a very big topic. So I just give you a glimpse teaser. We can say teaser only. In upcoming days, I will try to give each and every testing separately. Thank you, friends. I'm eagerly waiting for your questions or suggestions.
Thank you, Vishal. It was a fantabulous session. Yeah, friends, you can interact with Vishal.
Haru, you have to unmute and talk. Haru, unmute.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the presentation. It was very interesting to know certain ideas and, the validity and so many other things you have covered. It was very interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Now
Aruna.
can we see you?
Sorry, ma'am.
Can we see you now?
Yes, ma'am. Now, actually, now power have came. In between is power came.
Okay.
Myself.
Yeah.
In between it came, but I don't want to touch any thing because if it is happen something, the session will interrupt it. So,
Yeah.
myself.
You went to parallel, ma'am. Till now.
Hey. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ashish ji.
Actually, this mental health or the decoding the brain mind is a very big topic, and what
Yeah.
ma'am has covered a lot of points. So there is no point raising any question on her. It's like that. So far the session is very good and very interactive and knowledgeable. It's a very big topic, we can say, and you have tried to cover all the points, major points.
Thank you,
So
sir.
there is no point raising any question on you. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, sir. Actually, while taking my classes in the psychology classes in college, what we will understand, if they are very much satisfied also, they won't ask any questions. If they are not satisfied also, they won't ask any questions. So here I need to understand whether all are satisfied or all are not satisfied.
Ma'am,
That's
I
it.
think all are satisfied.
Hey,
Thanks a
Vishal.
lot, sir.
No.
I will take it as a positive one itself.
Of course, ma'am. Take it on a positive note.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Dinakara, sir.
I am very happy to participate after a long time break.
Mm.
There are some problems in the house because it is Vishal. I am interacting with Vishal after almost 2 years or 1.5 years.
2 years, uncle. 2 years.
Almost 2 years. And I was not very sure how she is going to handle the session, to be frank with you, Vishal. Because I know you 2 years back, but a lot of work you have done with yourself. That much I can tell. And a lot of improvement is there. Either in your expression, in handling the session, really hats up to you. And I'm also presently surprised that you're working as assistant professor psychology in that college. I'm very happy about that. Coming to the topic, you have covered very extensively, as Dr. Ashish Jain has said, theoretical part of it, everything you have covered very beautifully. And also you said what are the negatives, in the sense, what are the defects in conducting psychometric test. I'm very happy with that. And very beautifully you have presented the whole report. Now, what I would like to say is, when we are assessing a personality, we have to take care of not only psychometric test, personal interview, and other aspects of his social upbringing. I mean, not one aspect, his emotional well-being, his physical well-being, his intellectual well-being, his social well-being. That is why nowadays we are talking about EQ, MQ, SQ. You remember all those things. All those things combined together, if we can assess, then we'll have it. There is no question of our failing in that. But as you said correctly, there are some defects are there, no doubt about it, interpretation, etc. Highly thankful to you for a wonderful session, Vishal. Continue to fly high. Therefore, finally, on behalf of Deccan Positive Mental Health Group and Manasa Subakara Mind Clinic and Yellow Pond Counseling Center, Forest Creative Arts, I am thankful to you, Vishal, for a wonderful session. I was not knowing that Sunanda is going to choose you for this session. But when I saw those things, I told Sunanda, I am going to attend positively because it is Vishal. Vishal, hats off to you. Once again, all the best to you. Thank you very much, friends, for participating very actively, especially Aru was asking question. Ashish Jain has very beautifully said, everything we have understood, everything we have not understood in a different way, but it is okay. Take it as a highly positive thing. We feel very proud of you. All the best to you, Vishal. All the best to you. Convey my regards to your husband and also to your son, Pratap Rajkumar. Okay. Neelam, you want to say something? No, you have to unmute, Neelam. Neelam, unmute. Neelam,
And I'm trying to learn something over here, not to say anything, some things I can't say because I'm not read that comment. That's okay.
Neelam is one of very highly inquisitive learning curve. She's on a learning curve. I'm very proud of her. All the best to you, Neelam. Thank you, friends. See you next Friday at 6:30. Thank you.
Thank you, friends.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Vishal ma'am, use my number. You have taken my number, use it.
Yeah. I taken your number. I will text you.
Okay, sure.
I will share, sir.
Good night.
Yeah.
Good night all.
Yeah. Good night, friends.
Good night all.
Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.